For those of you watching this video that struggle with unwanted feelings and unresolved memories, you're not alone. Most of us have been through experiences in life, and some of those experiences leave a footprint. They impact the way that you feel and behave today. And the thing is, we're not always aware that these memories continue to impact us today. Sometimes things have happened to us that we've completely forgot about. They're outside of our conscious awareness, but they continue to impact the way that we behave. For some of you watching this video, you'll have memories that you bring to mind regularly. And when you pull these memories up, they start to create an emotional reaction. And this means you haven't fully processed these memories. And these memories can be anything from being bullied at school, a parent that's belittled you, or a boss that's maybe tormented you, or even a panic attack that really terrified you. These memories can be anything that made you feel uncomfortable. You see, you're still very much in the grasp of these memories, and you haven't freed yourself from the grasp, and you're carrying it around like this big, great weight behind you. If you struggle with powerful memories from the past, when you remember them, they very probably make you feel anxious because you're stuck back there. Your mind and body is reacting as if you're still back in that situation. So your primitive survival instincts believe it could happen all over again. So what it starts to do is fire off all these false alarms. And even though you're only thinking about the memory of the incident, that's a relative, because the alarm system doesn't care. The thought of the incident triggers the response as if you were actually there in the moment when that memory was formed. It's a bit like when your smoke detector goes off when you're just boiling the kettle. It's just steam, not smoke. But again, it's irrelevant whether it's steam or whether it's smoke. The smoke detector just says the house is on fire, run. And when this happens a lot, it's a bad thing, as you're constantly tipping in and out of fight or flight. Your anxiety systems are taking those old memories with anxiety in them and triggering the alarm. And to move on from this, you have to do something about it, or you'll continue to be triggered by those memories, because that's how our primitive survival systems work. So you need to do the work. This is where therapy comes in. You need to go back there and clean things up. You have to recode the memory so it doesn't invoke those old uncomfortable feelings. Now, working with clients, I very often find these memories are old. I mean, really old. Typically childhood incidents and memories that are keeping us trapped. And they set up a series of beliefs which are a set of rules that dictate how you respond to situations. And the thing is, you're not a child now. Those rules are out of date. You're older and wiser now and more equipped to deal with those situations. So you have to update that part of your brain that still thinks you're 6 years old and responding in that way. And so many of us have parts that are still stuck in some traumatic event from the past. I recently worked with a client like this. They had a fairly unhappy childhood. Something that happened to her at the age of 4 continued to cause all sorts of terrible physiological responses to her 43 years later. The emotional abuse she endured all those years ago manifests itself today in terrible anxiety and OCD. Now, obviously, she knows that she's not 4 anymore, but the memories haven't been updated. So her responses were as if she was still 4. It was a complete nightmare for her. And as an adult, she's now having to reprocess and recode the memory so that she can free herself from it. And lots of my clients have to go into the past. We look for that thing or things that just came along and changed everything. And so many of us don't reconcile our pasts. We just carry it around with us. There's a reason why our primitive survival instincts cling on to the past. It's to prepare us for the future. That's why you remember the past. That's what we do. Think about it. At some point in life, you learn how to use a knife and fork. You don't sit down today and go, how do these things work? At some point when you were younger, you learn how to encounter doors and open them. That means today that you can pretty much open any door regardless of which way the handle goes or the door swings. We learn like this and we store this information to make us efficient. so we don't always need to remember and relearn. Our brains use our experiences of the past to help us in the future, both good and bad. And so what you need to do is take the past and extract from it the lessons learned and the fact that you didn't have the necessary tools back then to deal with that situation. And the lessons provide the ability to avoid stumbling blindly back into those situations again. And as you do the work, your brain begins to restructure the memory and leaves them alone. It doesn't obsess about them anymore. So the anxiety producing parts of our brains basically try to tell us where the hazards are in our life. It's like, look out, don't go over there, there's danger, there's danger. Well, with a bit of help, you can master the fear and then you're no longer a victim of your memories. So if you have a negative emotion that's associated with a memory, it is something that's crying out for attention. If you have a negative emotion and no idea where it comes from, there's a very strong chance something happened that you've forgotten about. And I can really help you with that. We can do the work to get it cleared, or a good therapist can help you do that. We can reorganize your brain so it frees you from your past. Because you shouldn't be overthinking your past. I mean, it's okay if you're looking back over your shoulder at a life well spent. That's fine. But if you're looking back to your past and it's sort of like you're trapped back there, you need to be free of it. And that's where the work comes in. I hope you found this video useful. Thanks very much for watching.